Guys, today in this video I wanted to talk about toxic relationships and getting yourself out of them. So, I obviously know that there's a lot more involved than what I'm going to say in this video. Obviously, this is going to be like a less than 10-minute video. And I have like mental health training and everything, social work education, so I know how this goes. So I'm not trying to tell people, listen to me and your life will suddenly be better. What I am trying to say is these are things that maybe you should recognize in yourself or even recognize in others around you and perhaps start using it to think about things and move forward. So I want to share a story first. I have an ex-boyfriend. We were together for a few years, and we were living together for about 2 years out of that bulk. And he was incredibly toxic and emotionally abusive. He would try to control what I did in my life, down to how I dressed, how I acted, who I spent time with. And he would even try to control like my finances. It was all my bank account, my finances, so he couldn't really put a hold on anything or give me an allowance. But for example, he would constantly use my money to buy things for him, expensive things too, and then tell me that it's my job to buy things for him because he is my partner. This relationship was not just controlling like that. There was a lot of emotional abuse. He made me feel like I was a terrible person, that I was ugly, that I was horrible, that I was dangerous, that nobody else would love me, and that I should be lucky that I'm with him. And there was even some physical abuse in this relationship that wasn't regular, but it happened on more than one occasion. One occasion in which I remember I was so terrified that I was hiding in the closet and I had posted on Facebook asking for help, but because I was in this like toxic, manipulated state, um, I was convinced to tell everybody, oh, I was overreacting, nothing's going on, you don't need to worry about me, and the relationship continued as normal. Now, this is where this is where the point of the video is kind of, if you're in a toxic relationship like that, something, or even something that's not that bad, but you can recognize that it's toxic, or even something that's a lot worse. First of all, don't be afraid to talk about it. One of the mistakes that I made often in this relationship was that I didn't want people to think that there was any drama in the relationship. When you're a teenager and you discuss problems in your relationship, a lot of people turn on you and say that you're making it up, that you're overreacting, blah, 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 blah. So I often did not want that type of response. I wasn't a teenager yet anymore, but this was the experience that I had. So I would often tell people that things were fine, and I would ignore the gritty details of this relationship. The few people I did share those details with, they were often telling me that maybe, like, I needed to leave. And of course, I would always be saying, oh no, it's not as bad. It's not what you think. You don't know him, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's the second point. The first point was talk to people about it. That's important. Because sometimes you really do need a second opinion on anything you've got going on in your life, whether it be good or bad. Like, talking about things helps you approach them with a more clear mind. The second thing is listen to the people around you when they state that they think there's something wrong, because you are in such this emotional state that you can't tell that something is wrong. And you can't really be trusted with your own emotional state. It's sad that I would want to say that because I don't want to say something like that. I really don't. But you really can't be trusted. You are not in the right frame of mind to make decisions. Well, decisions pertaining to your relationship, that is. So listen to the people around you. If maybe they're just speaking out of their ass or something, they're just speaking from a place of hostility to this person in general, then sure, you might know when that's happening. Or you could even look at things and see, try to evaluate for yourselves whether they're right. But regardless of why they are saying these things, listen to them because they obviously have a reason. There's something going on there. And I guess the third point would be to don't be afraid to be strong. Like I said, I know that there's more going on. If you're in a seriously abusive situation, you don't have anywhere else to go. Sometimes speaking up or doing something like this can be very, very hard. So I'm not just saying go out there and do it. I'm just saying put these thoughts in your mind, maybe think about what's going on. But the what I'm emphasizing here with this point in relation to my story is since this boyfriend was constantly trying to control me, he gave me an ultimatum one day, and it was like, do this. I really can't remember what the this was anymore. It was a couple of years ago. He said, do this or we're over. At this point, I had already moved out. We were living together for a couple of years, but I had moved back in with my mom when I went back to university, just because it would be cheaper, and I figured that would be less stress on me. So I didn't have to worry about finding somewhere else to go. I had somewhere to be. I was already somewhere. So I said to him, fine, we're over. And he starts freaking out because that's not the answer he expected. He expected me to roll over and do what he wanted. And so he could continue this relationship as normal. Some bad things went down after that. Like, I mean, the relationship ended. I was fine with that. I was trying to move on. He spent about 6 months trying to get me back, right up until like the day before he started dating his current girlfriend. And then after that, basically started trying to call the police on me for fake charges, in which the police, you know, traced everything back to him and figured out how stupid he was being. Um, Tried to tell a bunch of my secrets out, try to, like, I don't know, destroy my life. But I wasn't going to let him do that. I was trying to take my life back, be in control of my own life. So anything I thought that he could use against me, I made it public. My mental, my personal identity, things like that. I just made it all public so he couldn't go behind my back and start blackmailing me or something like that. So yeah, the third point is try to be strong because you got it. There's got to be a point where you can break free and be yourself and be happy again. And this is getting me really emotional. It happened like years ago, but it's really, really big for me right now. So, I guess that's it. I know this is a little bit more of a serious video, but I really want to make it, and I've wanted to make it for a while, but I've been holding off because I know that there's this other toxic person who is in my life who's going to see the title or whatnot and think that I'm talking about him and then start tweeting all these bad things about me. And I've been scared to talk about this because of that. But I've got to be strong. I'm in control of my life. He can't hurt me for talking about something that's not even about him. So, yeah, that's it. I hope this helps some people. Um, if it doesn't, I mean, I tried. So, yeah, that's it. And you can always feel free to talk to me. I'm not employed as a social worker or anything, so I can't give you professional advice. But having been somebody who's been through the mental health education as well as who's been a client in mental health for a long time, I could at least point you in some right directions. The first thing is, yeah, never give advice. social workers are not supposed to give advice. You are supposed to give options. So, yeah. Um, that's all I've got to say, and I hope you enjoyed this look into my personal life. So, yeah. Bye, guys.